This is the WWE NXT 4th of March, 2025 full show results video. The show started with a match between Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Sol Ruca and Zarya. We see Chelsea Green is busted open, blood pouring out of her nose, looking for the kill switch. Zarya counters with an electric chair. Zarya gives tag to Sol Ruca, perching, hits Moonsault Doomday device, goes for cover, but Piper Niven breaks it up, then Sol Ruca rolls away and she just splashed Chelsea Green. Zarya with a fireman's carry, and hits F5 to Niven into Green. Ruca capitalizes, delivered Soul Snatcher to Chelsea Green. With that, Sol Ruca and Zarya won the match by pinfall. Cora Jade and Jordynne Grace are in Ava Rain's office and Jade talks trash on Grace and Masha Slamovich and says she's gonna beat Masha for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Jordynne says if she wins the title she'll retire. Ava tells them to take it to the ring and that's that. Back from the commercial, Trick Williams is having a heated conversation with Ava Rain when Kale Dixon and Uriah Connors roll up with a gift basket for her. Williams won't let them give it to her, they insist. He tells them to go tell Andre Chase about it. They blame him for being the reason Chase U was on the line in the first place. He shoves Dixon against the wall and tells him he'll see him in the ring tonight while Ava makes her mind up. The next match happened between Jada Parker versus Kalani Jordan. Fighting to the apron, Jada with a right hand, off the ropes, slide under, Jordan lands a stomp to the small of her back and follows it with an Ase moonsault. Into the corner, Parker rolls away, schoolboy for two, big fallaway slam but Kalani kicks out. Up in the turnbuckles, jockeying for position, Jordan gets it but Jada rolls out of the ring. Cutting off the Ase moonsault, back inside, Kalani gets the 450 splash, but Jada escaped, and then hits hip attack finisher, and defeated Kalani Jordan by pinfall. Post-match, Parker calls out Julia and Stephanie Backer and says she'll be watching their match at Roadblock. The D'Angelo family are interviewed backstage and says he has a lot to say about Izzy Dame, but he will stay quiet and Shawn Spears can try to put his own family together, but there's only one family in NXT. Back from the commercial, we get clips of an Oba Femi press conference and he says he doesn't take representing the brand lightly and next week he and Moose are going head-to-head, but he will not lose and see a TNA wrestler running around with the NXT championship on his waist or his shoulder. Moose meets him in the size department and he's no bum and no slouch, he can go, but Oba hits first and he hits hard, and he'll make Moose wish he'd never left the NFL. He's done taking questions and he leaves us by saying that he's going to walk in as NXT champion and walk out as NXT champion. The Hardy Boys make their entrance and get on the mic and Jeff starts, saying it feels good to be in NXT and even better to be at home in WWE. Matt says they can feel the love to come back home to WWE and appear on NXT for the very first time and defeat a top-notch team like No Quarter Catch Crew. It was amazing. Jeff says the fires are in the eyes and the hunger is obvious and they looked at Fraxium and saw the same fire they used to have. Then comes Hank and Tank Ledger apologizes for interrupting and says they came out here for advice from the GOATs. Hank Walker asks what they need to do to get to the next level, then Matt says they know who they are and enjoy their work and the respect is mutual. They're young, strong, big, and hungry, and sometimes to get noticed, you gotta take things to the extreme. They talk about tables, ladders, and chairs but Jeff says it's more about getting out of your comfort zone and getting past the perceived limits of what you are. Matt says they have the same hunger in their eyes they had in 1998, and they were willing to take risks and bet on themselves and make the impossible possible. Then comes Josh Briggs and Yashiki and Amira and Briggs tells the Hardys they can give Hank and Tank all the advice under the sun, but they're wasting their breath, and his advice for them is to stop playing the damsel in distress card because the Hardys ain't giving them a title shot, they're taking it. Hank and Tank dive on Briggs and Amira and a brawl breaks out and Fraxium appear behind the Hardys and Broken Matt burbles out a "I knew you'd come" before turning around to see them. They talk about their match in 7 days and pledge to find out who the best tag team is. The next match happened between Cora Jade versus Jordynne Grace and Masha Slamovich is shown in the front row. We see Jordynne gets under her with a fireman's carry and stampedes her into the corner a few times. Cora tries to reverse it and just gets passed into the corner. Grace lands an inverted tilt-a-whirl slam for two. Rights and lefts to her front and her back, Jade slings her into the turnbuckles, cover for two. Knees in the corner, Jordynne collapses to the apron and we go to break. Back from the commercial, medics are checking on Cora in the corner, she gets to her feet and is helped to the back, and it was announced Cora Jade can't able to compete and Jordynne Grace won the match by referee stoppage. All Ego Ethan Page and J. Yvonne Evans are hooked up for a satellite interview and Page admits it's 100% jealousy and if he could break Evans' jaw again, he'd do it in a heartbeat and he's more dangerous than he's ever been and now this place is silly enough to give him a match with no rules. Yvonne says nobody's ever gonna hold him down again, nobody's gonna take his joy or his smile, and they bicker when asked for final words and talk over each other at length. The next match happened between Cale Dixon versus Trick Williams, and the result of this match was Trick Williams defeated Cale Dixon by referee stoppage. After the match, Williams calls out Eddie Thorpe and Thorpe appears on the Bird's Nest. Thorpe challenges Williams to an NXT Underground match and Williams agrees. Backstage, Roxanne Perez had attacked Jordynne Grace with a steel chair. Moose gets a turn at the press conference and he says the match against Oba Femi is the only TNA NXT match he wanted and he waited until he could get it, and Oba has been a hell of a champion and he's gonna be a major player for years to come, but he's not gonna be NXT champion, because he's leaving with both titles. Ava Raine appears to close things out but gets interrupted by Fatal Influence demanding Fallon Henley get her rematch, but Ava just walks away. Ricky Saints runs into Ridge Holland backstage and Holland says he got a big win last week but he doesn't fool him and he shouldn't be here, but Ricky tells him to get used to seeing a whole lot of him. Saints runs into Shawn Spears next and Spears says this revolution will be televised when he wins the North American Championship. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Shawn Spears versus Tony D'Angelo for the NXT North American Championship. We see Spears with a big nearfall, following it up, camel clutch applied, shifting gears, sharpshooter, Tony fights out, and goes for pin, but Izzy Dame puts Spears' foot over the ropes. Adriana Rizzo dives on Izzy Dame and both men's factions start brawling. Stax is in the ring, Shawn shoves him into Tony and D'Angelo crashes to the floor, his back spasming. Spears takes him back inside, C4, and D'Angelo kicks out, then Tony goes for a spinebuster but his back gives out and Shawn is on him, and Shawn Spears won the match by pinfall with a deep lateral press, becoming your new NXT North American Championship. Shawn Spears and his company enjoying the moment, and the show goes off the air. How much you would rate this week's NXT show? Tell me in the comments, and thanks for watching.